Everyone, welcome to HOA Fight Club. I'm Raylene Schifano. It is 2025 and things are starting off just as exciting as they usually leave off in HOA, which is not a good thing. Most of us would like to just live our lives and not have anything to do with our associations, which is probably why a lot of us are in this situation in the first place, because we don't understand the responsibilities of HOA, which is why HOA Fight Club really does try to educate you on what your responsibilities are and your rights are, and help you learn the codes of your state, where to look for them, how to find them, how to find the laws that pertain to you in your state, how to find your CC&Rs, how to read your bylaws, how to understand those things. And it shouldn't take an attorney to understand these things, because everybody is required to know these things. Just like you're required to know how to cross the street, and that if you cross the street without being in a crosswalk, there could be a potential ticket for that. We know those laws. You can say there's things about them. So you know these laws, but you don't know them in detail enough to be able to quote them. So I am educated myself to, in most cases, that I can actually understand the law and be able to tell you, refer you to a potential law that will help you understand where you're at in your case. Now, HOA Fight Club is not an attorney, and these are my opinions. And if you do need an attorney, I do refer you to an attorney. I may not know an attorney, but I will always refer you to a higher up, because I don't want to even get into that part of it. I just want to be able to speak up when things are wrong. So there's a difference between defending people in law and speaking up when people are in violation of the laws for not a good reason. So the professionals in the industry keep us out of everything. They don't want us educated. And they need us to be uneducated, just like the board, so they can tell the boards what to do. They can have control of these associations. They can have control of the foreclosures, the fines, the fees, and all of everything else. And they make a profit from that. That's the industry. We have a monopoly in HOA. There is one group that does everything, and that's CAI, Community Associations Institute. And that industry is lashing out at me. So you guys think you have problems. I also have problems. So I'm on a board in Nevada of a corporation that I help run, and I am being denied the right to go to a meeting. So just to give you a little bit of background, the annual meetings are coming up, budget meetings are coming up. I sent in my application, my nomination form. This is in Nevada. I sent in my nomination form to be on the board. I should have no problem being on the board. And so I put my nomination form, and I made sure the property manager got the form. So it took me a couple times to do it, but I did finally get the property manager acknowledged. And I'm going to share a few things with you right now. I'm trying to get my share on here. So we're going to go to my computer now and share with you so you can see. Hopefully you're on here. You can see what's going on. So I asked the property manager, hey, did you get my nomination form? I want to run for the board. Took me a couple days and I finally got the confirmation that yes, they have my nomination form. So a few days go by and things aren't going quite the way we should. I'm not getting any more information, so I keep asking. I still haven't received anything for the meeting tomorrow. Are you receiving my messages? Then I get the response of, now this is a professional CAI certified property management company. And the response from them is, hey, Raylene, only board members have access to attend meetings electronically. Everybody else must still do so in person. No, that's not true. That's not true. So she's just blatantly giving me the wrong information. And I ask her, hey, where does it say this? As you can see, where does it say this in the law? And are you purposely blocking me? And I share that, hey, CAI is, they promote these kind of meetings, open meetings and board meetings. And hey, I should be able to let in. So anyways, she said no. So she didn't let me in the meeting. I didn't get in the meeting. It went to attorneys. The attorney started having a debate about it. Now, these are professional property managers and attorneys. I am not I've never with this company acted as HOA Fight Club. I have always acted as the corporation head that I am, the director that I am. I've never sent an email from HOA Fight Club to this corporation, because that is not the capacity that I work at in this corporation. So just so there's that knowledge. So of course, I'm being referred to the attorney. Speak to your attorney. That's the message. So here's the last message I get from the supervising community manager is that I'm not allowed in the meetings and to speak to the attorneys. Well, of course, this is in litigation. So we get a letter from the attorneys. Well, my attorney sends a letter, says, hey, we are going to attend the meetings. We have the right to attend the meetings. This is an arbitrary rule that you're making up just for Ms. Schifano. They're making accusations about HOA Fight Club and saying that it's a for-profit business and I'm practicing law. And so they're coming after me with full force, full vengeance, as they themselves are violating the law. So they are purposely violating the law. And what really is, this is my favorite email from the association's attorney, is that at this time we will not allow Ms. Schifano to run for the board. I understand that blank, speaking to blank, the attorney this afternoon. So the attorneys are going to speak this afternoon. Now, this is 12 of 11. The annual meeting wasn't until 12:27, and I wasn't allowed in. I went to the meeting. I tried to log on. They wouldn't let me in. They denied it. Now, this is the minority voting power keeping out the majority voting power. This is a subdivision. It is in court. There are issues, but they don't have the right to keep me from running from the board. They don't have the right to keep me out of the meetings. Now, these are professional. I put that, you see that there's a Nevada bar number on here because there was a Nevada bar, that attorney that's involved in this. And they're doing this on purpose. They want to make sure that I am not educating anyone. They don't want me to educate anyone. And that is what they're doing to keep us out of the meetings. So they want to make sure that we things keep the volunteers uneducated. Does that make sense? So we're going to keep all of these volunteers uneducated, even the members, even the board. Now, the board's not responding to me. This is all professionals. If these professionals want to keep me out of a meeting, they should have to have the vote of the board. They shouldn't be able to just communicate back and forth. They should be able to go. Now, remember, my other co-director sits on the board of directors. She's not being included in any of the communications at all between the board of directors and the attorney and the property managers. This is just the property manager and the attorney and probably the board president making this decision. Now, this board president doesn't own it. He's a 3% owner. He's a 3% vote in the association, which is devastating when you own a huge vote of the association. The majority, we almost have the majority with the other two members that also have votes in our thing. We have voted out these professionals. We took the majority vote back in September of 2023, and we had a special meeting and we voted out this board, this property manager, and these attorneys. And guess what? They didn't go anywhere. You want to know why? Because they're the professionals. So all they have to do is hold us hostage. They just file a lawsuit. They just keep you from running your association. These are supposed to be self-ran corporations, but they're not. We have the fox in the henhouse, and they are causing problems. Freedom. We all want freedom. We all want no governance, but freedom requires governance to be fair and equal. So our government, our legislators have just given the industry the power to do all of this with no accountability. And then we wonder why people are in foreclosure and why they can't keep up with their HOA dues. It's not the dues that are putting these people into foreclosure. It is the attorney fees. It is the harassment. It is the denial. And then when we do try to participate and educate ourselves, which I have educated myself, I admit I am educated in HOA. I do have a nonprofit, HOA Fight Club. I know the rules and I know how to read CC&Rs and I know how to read all that stuff, but that should not limit me from running for a board of directors because the professionals and the industry doesn't want the competition in the board meetings. They don't want these members educated. They want to keep us as stupid as possible because these are the insider trades that are happening. They know exactly who's being fined. They know exactly who's going to be put into foreclosure, and the property managers and the attorneys and the rogue board members are colluding to keep the majority vote out of power. Now, that is very unlawful in itself, but you're keeping us out of the meetings and you're keeping me from running from the board of directors. And in Nevada, that's an election interference. That could be could be a criminal penalty. Now you have the property manager and the attorney blatantly writing emails stating that they are going to keep me out of these meetings and that I am not eligible to run for the board. So is our attorney general in Nevada and the ombudsman's office going to step up and investigate that? We will see. We will see. But we should not have to be held hostages in our associations by these professionals. Look, if the minority members didn't agree, the minority vote for the deeds, if things happen and people don't agree, that doesn't mean that the association process breaks down. That process is in place for a reason. The majority has the vote for a reason. There's budgets being passed, there's boards being presented, and they're not lawful because they're not taking in the vote or the accountability of all the members. They're only picking and choosing which votes they want because that goes with their narrative. And they know, these professionals know, that when we are finally, this is all settled at the end of the day, that these professionals were already voted out. We already decided that we weren't going to keep them as our attorneys and our property managers because of the bad acts. And that we saw this years ago, that there are monies that are being used for the benefit of one owner and not of all owners. And the other owners are just so uneducated, and they don't want me in the room to educate these members, because these other owners that think they're with the board president might not be so much if somebody gets in there and actually tells them what's going on, actually shows them everything that's going on, because we haven't been allowed to speak. There's been no hearings. There's been no due process. There's been no meeting there's a master association and board. We've never even met them, and they're suing us. So how do we as members function when the board's not even following the declaration and the bylaws themselves? They're not holding, they didn't fine anybody, they didn't hold those hearings. Due process is very important. And because they didn't hold due process and didn't offer those hearings, it's going to cost people thousands and thousands of dollars. There should be no attorneys. The majority members voted for no lawsuit. So guess what? This association that's now in a lawsuit would not be in a lawsuit if it wasn't for the professionals. The industry is hurting our associations. They are taking advantage of members, and they're being uneducated volunteers, and they are taking advantage for profit of these communities, and they're running people out of their homes. They're stealing homes as if it's, I mean, they have power. They have the super priority liens. They don't need permission from you. They have power of attorney over your homes and over your businesses. And I'm telling you what, if people don't start speaking up, this industry is going to take over, just as they have quietly. 50 years they've been running this industry, and they're coming for your homes if you're not careful, if you do not educate yourself, because they think you need an attorney every time you turn around, but you don't. You just need to educate yourself in the laws, and you need to educate yourself on your governing documents. These are my opinions, but you should have an opinion. You should be telling the legislators your opinion and tell them that you want them to stop these people from stealing our homes. We have a crisis in Washington state, and now it looks like in Nevada, we may have some collusion and corruption. And I don't know if people are going to want to do business in Nevada if this is the kind of corporations that we're allowing for these big business attorneys to be able to be allowed to do this kind of stuff with a corporation. They should be taken out, sanctioned. I think they should have some penalties put on them, but they want to come after me. They want me to be penalized for unlawful practice of law. I'm not practicing law. I'm just telling everybody the truth. I am educating people. I am making sure they know that they have a voice, and they need to use their voice, and they need to tell these professionals to stop stealing our homes. All right, you guys, I'll see you on the next one.